Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast2Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast2Coast Racing Network for a little Hometown Heroes presented by Flatline Racing Bodies. First on the schedule, though, we got the A&J Custom Creations midget set to roll off here. 9 drivers, I imagine, as the season progresses, we're going to get more people in this thing. I imagine, well, I'm actually going to hop on the horn. I can't believe I didn't do this getting in the Gambler Motorsports chat. And Steven Spees, this may be a little early for him to hit this as he's on the East Coast now. But, man, if he knew we were in midgets, I'd almost certain, you know, maybe he's going to call in sick here every Wednesday night. He's his toy, but... Hey, other than that, I mean, we got one of the best out here in him. I mean, he wins all the time, and well, as soon as I say that, he crashes. Shaggy gives him a jinx, but that 31 of Brandon Templeton, keep your eye on him tonight for quick time. The man out of Corning, Iowa, knows how to wheel these midgets, and very, very fast. I expect to see a lot out of him tonight. Steven Mixler trying to find a way around the 4 of Greg Parmalee. It's never too early to practice racing, and these things, I mean, my success, not very much success, if any. It's come from being low and slow in these midgets, so that's the goal. That's what you're trying to do, I think. You know, you just keep the wheels under you. You obviously gotta drift it in a little bit, but you want to get that thing as straight as you can coming off the corner, and you don't want to lose time sliding that rear end as the mare goes around here. Let's see, B-Temp is back out on the racetrack. Let's watch B-Temp here for a lap, and it's actually, you know, I've done this in the past. Let's watch his hands, just so you can see. Turn right that whole time. Straightens it out right the whole way through the turn, real quick. Straightened it out. Got to go back to the right though, and I mean that's how you wheel these things. It's a constant fight. And well, Steven, he said he just started to cook dinner. And somebody's got to tell him ahead of time. So I'm currently responding. It's every Wednesday, and you know you better be here from now on. Really, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised. I'm just as surprised there that B-Temp spun out. I'm not surprised that he did a 360 and kept going, because like I said, an amazing wheelman, but man, Steven got caught slacking here tonight. He's been begging for the midgets to come back and Coast to Coast and in the team chat, and here they are. A&J Custom Creations steps up and brings a sponsor to the table here to do the midgets. And I'll tell you what, if Shaggy wasn't on the call here for Hometown Heroes on Wednesday night, I would be in this race car. These things are a lot of fun, and if you're out there watching and are interested, you know, in ever doing something like this is the league for you. I mean, it's a beginner league. That's why I get to win every now and then. But not to say that we don't have some of the best. You know, we've had people that have contended for the Pro Series and stuff like that in here, but they started out with us, and you've got to have an I rating under 3,000 to join in here. But like I say, for the most part, very clean, very professional, and guys get along like one big happy family here, coast to coast. But man, oh man. Really excited, like I say, to kick these things off. Which, speaking of, should do that right around 7. You know, maybe a little after. I'm sure the guys are going to have some sort of a driver's meeting. And Andy Patton, one of the brains of A&J Custom Creations, if not the brain of A&J Custom Creations. Not really too sure. And hopefully we can get Andy up here on the podium tonight to talk about it a little bit, or maybe we pull him up in between. Who knows? But not everybody hangs out in the Discord these days. And if you know, you go back and listen to it, hang out in that Discord, because I mean, Blake Chapman will tell you he gets pulled up all the time. The mayor, Steve Bixler, he's becoming one of my favorites. He actually, if you didn't tune into the broadcast last night, the mayor, you'll have to go back and watch that video. I brought up my webcam real quick because I'm pretty sure the mayor sent me a Christmas gift and he signed it. So you'll have to go take a look at yesterday to check that out. But definitely cool of Steve Bixler to do that for me. It was a very nice surprise. And when I get my butt out to Knoxville one of these years, I'm going to have to be sure to wear it. It's almost, I'll be forced to wear it here as the checkered flag waves and warm-ups come to a close. We get ready to go qualifying here at the Huset Speedway. If you're out there watching tonight, let us know who you're rooting for. Come back to Andy, you know the deal. I always hop on with the first driver here coming around, and it's 10 out of 10 times Brandon Templeton when he's in the server. Nobody's quicker at hitting that go button and hopping in the seat than this 31. Man, how he just holds that left rear right along the berm, and he gets so close to touching that wall. And I say that because if you do, you know, that's curtains, but V-Temp on the pole with that 1279. Can Andy Patton improve here his second time around? Did get faster in Sector 2, but too slow in Sector 1. Can't improve. Joseph Grandy comes home. P4 is Jack Hit takes the pole in the 2:17. Jack Hit out of nowhere steals the pole as Blake Chapman on his second and final lap here at the Huset Speedway. Coming out of 4, can Blake improve quicker through Sector 2? But Blake Chapman gonna stay P6, and with that, we wrap up qualifying unless we actually did get a late joinee. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler, coming to the party here. I'll have to see how that 39 looks tonight. And, well, as soon as Shaggy goes to the static cameras, Blake Chapman comes to a pause here. And, well, we sit around, we wait for if Patrick Spangler decides to qualify, but if not, I imagine not too much more time here. Actually, no much more time here. Is the white flag on the session, and with that here, we're going to roll into heat race number 1. Let's take a look here. Oh, wow. Are we running them all here in one heat? I dig this. I didn't have that ready for you. My apologies. I dig this so much here. And actually, let's yeah, okay. We had to make sure. I was going to say that it had a heat. I was just a little shocked, but I really like this. Let everybody go out here and race for the pole. And well, for A&J Custom Creations heat race number 1, let's take a look at that starting grid. On the outside of row number 5, the high side banger Patrick Spangler, and his inside the 4 of Greg Parmalee. The general Andy Patton takes the 87 on the outside of row number 4, and his inside the 05 of Devo Donovan Ross. Blake Chapman, the salesman, lines up on the outside of row number 3 in the 20 machine. And to his inside, grab a book, the librarian to the inside in the 41. Outside of row number 2 in the 217, that's Jack Hit, into his inside in the 31, B-Temp Brandon Templeton. Row number 1 here for our feature. On the outside is the 75 of Steve Bixler. Into his inside in the 518, $100,000, Joseph Grandy. And I'll tell you what, you saw, or you didn't see because you're not here at Shaggy's house, but you heard me pause there, and I'm a man that's honest. I will tell you the truth why I paused. I did not see the mare qualify second. And you could hear I'm an honest man. That made me absolutely pause. What an effort out of that 75. And I'll tell you what, if he's qualifying like that, well, I can't wait to see how this thing looks here when he's racing. That is a quick time, and he's, I think he did win one of the most improved drivers not too long ago. And Shaggy's just realizing here my mic's picking up something in the background here, so I'm going to try to go to my software and turn that down a little bit. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I raced against him in the B Series Monday night, the Rebels division, and boy, oh boy, man, he raced so well, was so quick out there, looked fast, and it's translating apparently here to the midget as well. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 6 laps to play in the clay at UZ Speedway, 6 laps. We're ready to play. Excuse me, man. When this SDK software, when it changed those laps up top, boy, it hit me up. And B-Temp wasted no time at all. Gets to the inside. He goes from 3rd to 1st. But wait a minute. Here comes the mare from Clarence, Iowa, in the 75, high and handsome. But B-Temp too quick on the bottom. As boy, oh boy, look at him race here at Huset's. Brand new track we just got the build on Tuesday, so nobody really knows how to play this place yet. Everybody's on an equal playing field, but anytime you get in a midget against Brandon Templeton, are you really on an equal playing field? The guy is so quick, and here comes the gentleman, Jack Hit. Man, oh man, he's got that Hooters machine rolling on the bottom. Can he get the 217 up into the front row here for our feature? He's only got 2 more laps. And 518 of Joseph Grandy, he's got his head down. He's going to work here as the white flag flies. Can he make an effort here? Can he find a way around the 31? Or does B-Temp have it locked up here as we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time? Checkered flag waves, and Brandon Templeton takes home your one and only heat race here as they're starting how they're finishing here. So you just take a look at that. I mean, we'll announce the finishing order here whenever we do the starting grid, but I'll tell you, I dig this. I enjoy the heat race set in the field, and we got to see people jumble around a little bit. You ask the mayor, maybe he doesn't want to do it, but we'll be right back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stick around, and we'll have your A&J Customs Creations Midget Sprint Car feature up next. We are back on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, and we're here for your A&J Custom Creations Midgets at the Huset's Speedway for Flatline Racing Body's hometown heroes. And I think they're going to have a vote from the drivers if we want to stay here, but I think we're guaranteed to run here 3 weeks in a row. And man, oh man, my vote is I hope they stay. I love this place. See the dust starting to fly. We're going to get some dust here as the track ages. Look forward to a good race here from the boys as we line up for our A&J Custom Creations Midget Sprint feature here at the Huset Speedway. And starting on the outside of row number 5, the high side banger Patrick Spangler, and to his inside in the 41, the librarian Pat Boyce. Row number 4 to the outside in the 4, Greg Parmalee, and to his inside in the 05, Devo Donovan Ross. The General Andy Patton takes that 87 machine and he lines up on the outside of row number 3. And to his inside in the 20, Blake Chapman. The mare lines up on the outside of row number 2 in the 75. And his dancing partner to the inside in the 217. The gentleman, Jack Hitt. Row number 1 for your A&J Custom Creations Midget Sprints feature. To the outside in the 518, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. And his inside in the 31, B-Temp. Brandon Templeton is get ready to go have some fun here at the new racetrack, new build. We got some dust. I'm excited. Are you? Here is Brandon Templeton got out to that early lead in the heat race, but Joseph Grandy started to nip at those heels in the closing laps. Going to be an interesting race. Pick your dog now. My money's on the 518. We'll see if the 31 can prove me wrong. As we roll through 3 and 4, the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Your A&J Custom Creations feature is underway. B-Temp hits that berm right away in turn 1. That's going to open up the door for the 518. Put it on him, Joe. Oh, B-Temp. Slider Joe can't lift in time, and there's a little contact, but man, oh man, you got to kind of expect that here at Hughes. It's not what you want to have happen to you if you're the 518, but hard racing on the first lap, and well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Let's go back and take a look here with the 518. We'll go in the cockpit view so you see what he sees. Now, at this point, you know, you kind of know it's coming. You don't want it to come, but, you know, early on in the race, it's one of those deals where if you lift, you probably survive, maybe fall back to third. But instead, you know, and this isn't like I'm blaming the 518. It's definitely a racing deal, but it's one of those where if you just make one different decision, you maybe live to tell another story. And let's watch this. It's just that right rear tire. Contact. Andy Patton up and over. He lands on the lid. Ooh, does a little spin for us in the 87. Devo on his lid as well. And they're still stuck in the pits here. They've got some tow time left. Not too sure if they're even going to be able to get out here. Smaller track. Going to be one of the first flips I've seen here. I don't know if it gives you enough time to get out with the tow. Find out together here is Steve King Foundation pace truck rolls down the backstretch. Lights are off, so we are going to go this time by. Here's the 31 of Brandon Templeton. Leads the way. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. B-Temp drops the hammer, and we're ready to play at Hughes Speedway. The gentleman goes immediately to that top shelf as B-Temp walks away. He's up to a half a second over the boys now as looking to the inside of Blake Chapman. Well, looking behind Blake Chapman, here comes 100 grand. He's on a mission to get those spots back, and well, Blake Chapman gets by Pat. Here comes Joe. Can Joe find a way around? They're side by side. Joe sends the right rear up, and well, that's a case of, well, you can't even say karma here. Pat Boyce did nothing, but you know, that's a case of if you float that right rear up like that. I mean, Pat's still there, so you can't really be mad if you're the 518 at B-Temp for early on. I mean, that's a tough deal for the librarian. He's going to be able to get this thing back out there, hopefully. But probably not without being a lap down with the tow, as Devo and Andy Patton, they are both 2 laps down. Tough break here to start the A&J Custom Creations feature here at Hughes Speedway, but plenty of time to re-roll the dice here and change the fortune a little bit. Temp paces around up front. Blake's still on the pace truck. Should go off this time by, but you're out there. Make sure the Degan Corinta Memorial, we're running a Chili Bowl. It starts Sunday. And the finale's Monday night. Make sure you're there. I am going to try to sign up for this thing, I would hope. Get my butt there and race Monday night. Not sure if I'm going to be broadcasting Sunday because I do another league, or still in the works, in the talks, but I would like to find a way to buy myself into the Saturday night show, that's for sure. As the green flag is high, the 31 gets lost behind the billboards, reappears, and Houdini drops the hammer, and we're ready to roll. 3 wide behind him. Steve Bixler looking to play here in the 75. Getting side by side with the kid down the lane as Steve Bixler gets into it with the high side banger. Somehow Patrick Spengler keeps that thing going straight as the 39 has fought his way up to the top 5. Has he stalled out now? Has the mare too much for the 39? We'll take a look back up front. Is the gentleman all over the backup, Brandon Templeton, and Jack hit our new leader in the 217, but beat him. He's not going nowhere. He's going to take a peek back low here in 3 and 4. Give it to the gentleman at the line by 3 car lengths here as B-Temps. Yeah, he's got to go upstairs. I was just going to say, if you're the 31, how long till you move up? And you gotta go upstairs. You just saw the dust. I mean, it's being blown off up top. That's where you gotta be if you want to be quick as we ride on the nose here of Brandon Templeton. So let's do you one better here. Let's hop on with the salesman, Blake Chapman. He's got a view here of the front 2 in front of him. And try to roll in here, so you can see the dust a little better, what they're seeing. It's not too bad right now, just a little bit, but as you can see, lap cars gonna start becoming a problem. But no, oh man, I thought that was gonna be bad. Does a good job though holding the middle. Blake Chapman's got to adjust a little bit, but the top 3 roll on no problem with 12 to go here in the AMJ Custom Creations feature. Gotta wonder if Blake Chapman's trying to dance, trying to get around Shaggy's pick here, trying to make Brandon Templeton fall a little further down that ladder. Is the gentleman walking away out front. Look at your lead for Jack hit 1.4 seconds at the line, and that's all gone because we've got a caution on the racetrack at Hughes's. See if we can figure out what happened here. I'm thinking Greg Parmalee in the 4. Not getting much help here from the replay booth. Let's see. Oh, man, Pat Boyce. How does Pat Boyce miss that accident? That's what's going to bring the caution out. And, well, actually, let's see. Up ahead of the way. It says Devo may have been involved in something too, or is this just him slowing down after the caution? No, Devo definitely involved in something. And that may have actually been the caution here. Not too sure as he pulls her down pit road, but as events are happening here, things are going away. But let's go back here. Let's take a look here. I want to ride on the nose of the 41. And just look at this. Look how close this was. I mean, he cracks the throttle and just cuts underneath. Great evasive maneuver there for the 41 Pat Boyce. That could have been nasty. He already used his quick repair and is just out there driving around 2 laps now, just trying to get a little track time here. It's like I said, going to be here the next 2 weeks at least, and hopefully the rest of the season here for the winter Coast2Coast Racing League. But it's up to the drivers, not up to Shaggy, so we'll have to see what they decide. Is Jack Hit, your new leader out front. When does he decide to drop the hammers? The green flag is high. He goes now and gets a good jump as B-Temp tries to reel him back in, but it may be a lost cause. And look at the salesman. Immediately to the top shelf. Going to try to go up there, rip that outside. And not that I don't have faith in B-Temp, but if Blake Chapman gives up on the inside, I don't think there's much left there. And B-Temp now, he's just that stubborn mule staying to the inside, trying to make it work. But that Dirt Track Bank 31 struggling right now on the inside. 518 of Joseph Grant, he's able to get around the mare, and Patrick Spangler. Can he get up here and flirt with the podium once again? It's Patrick Spangler. We've seen him run behind that 75 quite some time, and he gets a run to the outside this time. Can the 39 make it stick? Side by side out of 4, he's got the spot at the line. Blake Chapman secures the deal on B-Temp. They were still kind of fighting a little bit, but yellow flag flies, and Blake Chapman is going to find himself on the rear end of Jack Hit here when we get this restart, as the high side banger Patrick Spangler involved in an accident here at Huset's. So we saw the mare get a little sideways there. Oh, and he just gets into the wall, comes down, doesn't get into anybody. Does a good job of holding the brakes with everyone coming around. Caution flies. No harm, no foul, unless you ask the 217 of Jack Hit. Jack Hit's not going to enjoy losing that lead. Or not losing the lead, but losing the lead margin. Excuse me. Man, I was reading that Flyboy Donuts, and I can tell you those donuts are really good. I have to remember to try those if I'm ever in the area. As that yellow flag gets straightened up, you know what that means. Lights are off on the pace truck, and we get ready to go play. Our 5th restart here in the midgets. This Jack Hit leads us down the dusty backstretch here at Huset's. Now iRacing's just got to give us a water truck here. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. The gentleman fires, and we're back underway. Blake Chapman looking to rip that lip immediately on the outside, just like the last restart. B-Temp immediately downstairs, and got to think that might favor the 518 here to move up into that 3rd and final podium spot. As Joseph Grandy, quick race car, and he's up top where all the grip is. And right now, B-Temp staying down on the bottom. And oh, if they make contact again, yeah, B-Temp made sure that didn't happen again. As he sits sideways on the front stretch. No caution for the 31. And man, oh man, white flag flies. You gotta feel for the 31. But Jack Hit, he's saying, cry me a river. Final time through 3 and 4. Checkered flag waves, and the gentleman wins your first A&J Custom Creations Midget Sprint feature here at Huset's Speedway. The salesman Blake Chapman P2, 100 grand P3, the high side banger, and Steve Bixler round out the top 5. As you saw there, Steve Bixler and Spangler, they were side by side coming to the line. They had a pretty good race there. As the boys didn't disappoint. We'll have to give them a minute or two here to catch their breath and try to go back to that longer green flag run here, so Shaggy's not restarting on you guys as much. We're going to try to get a word here with the 518 of Joseph Grandy. Where is Shaggy's interview camera? Sorry, that's the long pause. I'm gonna have to reload up my packages. I made cameras today. I know there's one, but it must not have loaded in for some reason. So I'm gonna have to go through the old school way here and rotate these guys by hand. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and pull up that 518. Joseph Grandy had a tough start here to your feature, my man, but you're able to overcome that rough start and get back on the podium. How you feeling?
Feel good. First full race I've done on this track. I was actually worried it was going to be the bottom the whole time, but little slider line ended up coming in, and then around some people after the little incident, and got a podium.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you're in the back or when you get, shuffled back to the back, you got to go where they're not. But it seemed like you were having a lot of success on that outside. What was your preference, though?
I ran that a little bit in practice, and it felt pretty comfortable. I figured that would be the way to get around eventually. 3 and 4 was pretty good at the bottom and the start, but just where my gut told me to go, and that's about it.
Well, hey man, you got to be one of the favorites here coming into the next race in the 360 sprints. How do you like this new track? What do you like? What don't you dislike about Husitz?
I haven't ran it enough. I'm hoping, with the sprints, maybe the top comes in a little bit. But seems nice close racing. It's a little wider than I thought it would be in the turns. But it's a fun little track. I like the races a little more.
Yeah, it's really neat that you say that. That's the first thing that I noticed is I did not think from TV that this place was that wide in the corners, but man, it is. Got a lot of room to play, and you took advantage of that there, Joseph, able to race your way back up to the podium. Great run, man. Who you want to thank?
Catalytic Recovery, West End Tone and Repair, all the guys over at Inferno Motorsports, Highline Photography, my girlfriend Olivia, all the guys at Coast to Coast. I appreciate me for doing the broadcast.
Well, hey, great run, man, and rooting for you here the rest of the night. Go get him.
Thanks.
It's the 518 of Joseph Grandy, and now we bring up the man who finished P2, but just seemed like nobody had anything for the leader tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, Blake, but man, Jack Hitt was on a mission there at the end.
Yeah, he was really, really fast. Congrats to him on the win. There's no way I was catching him unless he made a really, really big mistake. But yeah, I was just trying to get this thing dialed in all night. Haven't run these midgets in a long time. So I was just coming in here trying to stay out of trouble. Fortunately, we landed on our wheels after that lap 1 wreck. So we were able to stay out there and keep driving this thing. But the track was really pretty good. I was afraid it might be bottom dominant the whole race, but got a little slick and got a little bit racy there about halfway through the race. So that was good to see, and just good to get some wheel time behind this thing, and hopefully we'll be back here next week.
Now, I know, you don't want the track to be bottom dominant, but there's your working your way up through the field. I know how much you like the bottom feed. Or you wishing you had a little more grip down there to do just that, or would it have been too hard to get around that 31?
Yeah, I was hoping so. I was hoping that after I passed Brandon, the bottom would have came in there, so I would have had a little something for Jack. But it just wasn't meant to be tonight, and I was a little disappointed. Felt like the bottom was fast early, but I really wasn't. So, hopefully we can be a little quicker when the track's more tacky next week.
Well, hey man, you know the deal. We're points racing, and you start out the season with a P2. That's the way to do it. Congratulations, kid. You got anybody you want to thank?
Of course, I got to thank all the family for watching. Got to thank all the boys down at the Kite Sim Racing Team and the Can-Am Racing Team. Got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy and AJ Custom Creations for putting the money up for this broadcast. I got to thank, of course, Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They got some of the best stuff out there. You can head over to their website, use code CART for 15% off with the holidays coming up. It makes a great gift. And I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on, Shaggy.
Well, hey, great run, man, and I'll tell you the same thing I told Joe, man. You're going to be one of the favorites here in the next couple races, so give him hell, kid. Good luck.
Thank you.
It's Blake Chapman there, your P2 finisher, and now we bring up the man who, shame on Shaggy. I slept on this guy, and I know better than to sleep on the gentleman here in a midget, but we come out here. We've got the midget sponsored again here, Jack. How big is the smile on that face right now, brother?
Ah, feels good, man. We haven't been on the broadcast for a while, so of course, shout out to Andy and AJ Custom Creations for getting us back here, and glad to have you as our broadcaster.
Now, this is no slight at you, Jack. I mean, if you get in the sprint car, you whip my butt in there too. But what is it about these midgets that you just feel so comfortable in? And I mean, it doesn't matter what track we go to, this 217's up on the podium.
It's probably just the seat time, man. The midgets are what got me into iRacing, Chili Bowl specifically. So it's what I spend the most time doing. So.
Well, I mean, that's you couldn't have set me up with a better lead in there, Jack. I mean, speaking of the Chili Bowl, I mean, how excited are you for this Degan Carina Memorial coming up this weekend? You gonna run that thing?
Oh, for sure, man. I'm gonna be running it and I'm gonna be driving in it. Yeah. So yeah, everybody out there, Sunday, Monday night. Sunday's prelim night. Monday's gonna be the feature night. Come on out. Donations are not necessary, but we would appreciate that. Yeah, it's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm super excited.
Well, man, I'm gonna try to get Steven out here, so that way we got some more people to try to compete with you. But I got a feeling this is gonna be one of the many times I'm talking to this 217 on this A&J Custom Creations victory lane. Great run tonight, man. You look like a rocket out there. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, Steven, I think actually, didn't he say that he's got to like take his fish on a walk or something? I don't know. He said he's got something to do that night.
Dude, I messaged him and he was cooking dinner tonight. It's even more embarrassing than that, Jack. He was cooking dinner.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see his tail tank for 55 laps, but got to thank again AJ Custom Creations for getting us back on the show here. You for putting on an awesome broadcast. Got to thank my wife for giving me the time to do this, and everybody behind the league still making this thing go around every season.
Well, hey, man, you're one of the guys making the clock tick, and we owe you big time for that, Jack. Congratulations. Glad you finally got rewarded here with a broadcast a broadcasted series that this 217, man, you could walk away the champion, and I sure as hell wouldn't be shocked. Good run tonight.
Thanks, Zach. See you next week.
Yeah, you heard him. See you next week. That wasn't even me saying that. He knows it. He's admitting to it. I got to do the cocky for him. That's my job as the broadcaster. We can't paint Jack as some evil villain who's really cocky, self-absorbed. He's not. But the guy knows how to wheel this thing, and he is going to be a fixture in the top 3 in this series. It's going to be a big shock if he's not that night. But we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast2Coast Racing Network. Stick around, and we'll be right back with your Flatline Racing Bodies 360 event here for your C2C hometown heroes. Stick around. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get
we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We are back live for part 2 of Flatline Racing Body's hometown heroes, with none other than the Flatline Racing Body's 360 sprint cars here at the Houston Speedway. Oh, Shaggy clicked the wrong button. We are right back. We're not starting soon. I thought I was on a different page in Snap Racing. I have to... Long story short, broadcasters, I got to de-full screen this so I can see the overlay that you guys see on the broadcast. That way it shows that everything's working okay here. And right now, everything's working A-okay for that 518. Currently top of the charts there. Joseph Grandy, the Dark Knight P2 in the 99. That's Gavin Chatham in the General and the Patton. Currently P3. He'd love a good run after his unfortunate start there in the midgets that put him on the outs right away. As you know what here, Let's actually do something. Shaggy wants to try something. My apologies. It just now kicked in my head. I swear you'll be able to see that. I even made that. So that's all set to go. I should have to do this. But I want to make these TV static cameras. Just be able to rotate around and check people out as see who's in heat race or in the group number 2 here. Only 2 people on the track over in group 2, Brian Moore Sr. and Jack Clevenger. So sorry boys, no love. We head back over to the popular room. There's Roger the Bass Man up there ripping going into 1 and 2. Drivers, well, you know, Blake, people were worried a little bit. Where are we going to get the high side? It looks like we're sure getting the high side here. Early on, we see the 87 ripping the outside. The General feeling confident upstairs. You see that Inferno Motorsports machine. Always quick. Let's see here. Let's hop back over. Is Brian? Nope. Brian actually just pulled off right when we clicked on him. Jack Clevenger is still out there. 78 machine, just in group 2. Lee Chapman getting ready to join the party here in the 20 machine. And just as he does, the session comes to an end and Flagman tells Blake, no more practice for you. And let's see who pulls out first for our 360 sprints qualifying. And I'll tell you what. Shaggy just noticed something here. Bear with me if you'll notice how horrible that qualifying looks. Well, that's because Shaggy's got the wrong one in. So bear with me here for a second. We're going to have to... Oh, wait, no, there we go. It auto-updates. Wow, really cool. Didn't think it would do that. As you see, we'll probably have to change it to Hewsett Speedway. No big deal here. And we'll drop the time. But Devo currently at the top of the charts. Blake Chapman purple in Sector 2. He rolls in P5. Let's see here. Blake rolls. He's got one more lap here. Clicked off him a little early. Purple through Sector 1. Slower through Sector 2. But it's quickened up by 2/10. The salesman takes the pole here early on. Let's watch his hometown friend here in the mare of the 75, Steve Bixler. He's slower through Sector 1. Did pick up time in Sector 2. But going to stay right where he is on the speed charts. And now that Shaggy has a chance to look down and type because everyone's qualified, we'll change the scoreboard to what it should say here. We all know we're at Hewsett's, but I didn't even notice that the qualifying was messed up there in the first session because Shaggy's got a different format for another league. And apparently I never fixed their qualifying time. Is Dark Knight Gavin Chatham, P2, Devo 3rd, the General 4th, and Joseph Grandy rounding out your top 5. Are going to have 2 heat races here in the 360s. And rounding out the field in heat race number 1 to the inside, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Outside of row number 3, the 747 of Roger Craig. And to his inside, the 39 of the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Blake Chapman, the salesman, lines up on the outside of row number 2. And to his inside in the 05, Devo Donovan Ross. Row number 1 for heat race number 1, starting on the outside in the 518. 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. And to his inside in the 79, Dean Reynolds. As Shaggy needs to click hide on that. There we go. It wasn't wanting to disappear, but the green flag ain't going anywhere. It's high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 1 underway at Hughes Speedway. Let's go play. The 518 to the outside, searching for grip. Dino downstairs, feeling comfortable here, but look at the salesman. Oh, he gets the door shut on him. Says, you're going to shut the door up high? I'll go low. Blake Chapman, he'll go where no one else goes. Can he find the grip to get it done? Give Blake P2 at the line. Downstairs, nobody else making it work but the salesman. And man, oh man, give it to Grandy at the line, but with 3 to go, you got to think the 20, he's got something in his pocket here, giving him a little luck, running the bottom out of 4. Give it to Blake Chapman, 2 to go. Patrick Spangler, you expect that 39 up here towards the front, but no luck. These guys in front of him too fast, and with the white flag flying, Joseph Grandy running out of time. Blake Chapman sails us off into 3 and 4, and with the checkered flag waving, he takes home heat race number 1, followed by Joseph Grandy, Dean Reynolds, Donovan Ross, Patrick Spangler, Jack Clevenger, and the Bassman, Roger Craig. Is Blake Chapman, your pole sitter, 4th to 1st in heat race number 1. Good luck, everyone else, as we get ready for heat race number 2, starting on the outside of row number 3, the 4 of Greg Parmalee, and his inside, the mayor from Clarence, Iowa, Steve Bixler. Row number 2 to the outside, the 99 of the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham, into his inside, the 87 of the General, Andy Patton. Row number 1 for heat race number 2, starting on the outside in the 055, Mr. Wednesday Night himself, Brian Moore Sr., and to the inside in that 41 machine, ready to take everybody to school here in heat race number 2, the librarian, Pat Boyce. We'll have to see if Pat Boyce can hold off the field, or if the P2 qualifier Gavin Chatham has enough to get to the front like Blake Chapman did, or can somebody else come up here and steal the show as they drop the hammer? Heat race number 2 underway. Andy Patton immediately downstairs, trying to imitate the salesman. Just not having that success here early on as Pat Boyce not giving him the room. Pat floats up, gets into the side of the 99. Everyone keeps going, but the 41, he's definitely going to have some damage after that. But at the end of the day, how's the song go? Nobody to blame but me. That's what Pat Boyce is going to be saying to himself as Gavin Chatham trying to duck to the inside of Mr. Wednesday Night. Halfway home, 3 to go. Can the Dark Knight get the grip off a 2 to pull even? It looks like he is. Sends it in, 3 and 4, makes it stick. Shows him that gas tank, and we got a new leader with 2 to go. The Dark Knight doing his Blake Chapman imitation. 4th to 1st. These guys are about to duke it out here for 25 laps as the white flag flies. One more trip around. Flies through 3 and 4. Gavin finds it, and he takes the checkers home with him. He's going to start on the outside for your feature. Behind him in the 055, Brian Moore Sr., Andy Patton, Greg Parmalee, Stephen Bixler, and Pat Boyce rounds out heat race number 2. And with that, we'll take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we'll be right back with your Flatline Racing Bodies Hometown Heroes 360 Sprint Car feature event. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Mike, thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I try to check the comments in between. It's the Coast to Coast page isn't my YouTube account, so on my actual stream software, I don't get the chat messages directly to me. I kind of have to fish them out myself. And with only having 3 monitors, so I got a broadcasting screen, an iRacing screen, and then a telemetry screen, so it's kind of hard for me to follow that, but thank you for tuning in, and I'm doing pretty good tonight, man. How about yourself? If you're out there watching, let us know who you're rooting for. Please get that chat box rolling, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as we get ready to roll off here for tonight's Flatline Racing Bodies 360 feature event. Rounding out the field, starting on the inside of row number 7, the Bassman, Roger Craig. And in row number 6 to the outside, the 41 of Pat Boyce, and to the inside, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Outside of row number 5, in the 75, the mare, Steve Bixler. And to his inside, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Row number 4 to the outside in the 4, Greg Parmalee. And to his inside in the 05, Devo Donovan Ross. Row number 3 to the outside in the 87 machine, the General Andy Patton. And to his inside in that 79, Dino Dean Reynolds. Row number 2 to the outside in the 055, Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. And to his inside in the 518, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. Row number 1, starting on the outside in the 99, the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham. And to his inside, starting on the pole in the 20, get your popcorn ready. The salesman, Blake Chapman, will lead us to the green flag here for week number 1 at Hughesett Speedway. New build, everybody on an even playing field here, so really no excuses how to any drivers viable tonight. It's a new racetrack. Everybody, I mean, some may have a little bit more time on the track than others, but it's a new track. No excuses here. We're all learning together here at Hughesett, and with Blake Chapman set to lead us to the green flag, we're going to learn quick here. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 25 laps to play in the clay at Hughesett Speedway. Blake Chapman with a great run on the bottom through 1 and 2, but there's contact in the back parking lot on the backstretch. No caution yet as the librarian on his lid, he tows, but man, oh man, Shaggy's wishing he had a caution button right now. I'd be jamming that. There we go, we get it. But it may be too late for the 41 of Pat Boyce if he went that lap down. As we try to go back, diagnose what happened here at the Hughesett Speedway. Early lap 1 turmoil. As Devo gets a little sideways all by himself, comes down Greg Parmalee, nowhere to go. He gets a shot. The mare gives him a tap. Oh, man, just like that, Jack Clevenger involved. Pat Boyce, Roger Craig, Devo. I mean, you see your 6 cars right there all involved. And Pat Boyce, the librarian, ends up on his lid. Tough break for the 41. That chat box, though, pretty quiet tonight. I heard Marty say it the other night. Just let us know who you got here tonight. Get that thing flooded. Let us know who you're rooting for. Who's got your favorite paint scheme? What's your favorite nickname? What's a nickname for your driver that Shaggy doesn't know about here that, you know, we can install on him for future races? But not getting the full lap in. The lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace truck, and we're going to do this restart single file. So Blake Chapman shouldn't feel too much pressure here off the get-go. We roll through 3 and 4. He'll wait to drop that hammer a little late and gets a good restart over the rest of the field as we're back underway. 100 grand trying to reel in Mr. Wednesday night is Brian Moore Sr. holding on to that third and final podium spot. Joseph Grandy coming in quick. Dino now taking a peek down low. Can Dean Reynolds try to find a way around? Doesn't look like it just yet. Well, Shaggy just realized I did some work with Blake Chapman in the midgets to tune down some of these cameras. And I must not have saved because it's getting pretty loud. Let me know if it's a little too loud if you're not hearing me. I'd be much appreciated, but man, oh, the bow! Joseph Grandy gets into the 79 and pulls a Shaggy there, knows he messed up, and I'll tell you what, I respect the heck out of that. I mean, Dino may still be mad, but after he got into him, he gave him that spot and said, okay, man, we'll go play here. My apologies, but it's go time now. Blake Chapman out front, smooth and comfortable downstairs as Gavin Chatham tries to emulate what he's seeing in front, but through 3 and 4 must not be able to do it. Likes that top shelf, and we'll have to see here. 15 to go. Let's actually, you know what? We don't have to see if he's running them down. Let's take a look for ourselves. We can see Gavin Chatham's been quicker 2 out of the last 5 laps. What is it this time? Now 1 out of the last 5. Give that one to Blake Chapman. So you see, I mean, they may be rotating every now and then, but give the advantage currently to the 20 of Blake Chapman. Is see Joseph Grandy up there in the outside wall. Oh, he comes down and gets into the General Andy Patton. Not a big deal now, but boy, close call for Joseph Grandy. Brian Moore Sr. able to hold on to this third and final podium spot as Dean Reynolds in the 79 tries to get a little bit closer. As what a terrible camera there, and then what terrible sound in the cockpit. As I'm not too sure what kind of they're trying to emulate here after this update. But man, this camera awful quiet now. It's Dean Reynolds back down to the inside. Joseph Grandy trying to get that thing back under him here. He lost that, well, not even a spot here to the 87. Andy Patton a lap down. And they are teammates, so I wouldn't expect Andy to hold up Joe too much here. If Joe gets a big run out of 4, you got to think he's going to let him have it. As may not have known he was up there the last time coming off the backstretch. This time all's right in the world here. Lets him go on by. But with 6 to go here, your leader Blake Chapman, good night. 2.5 seconds out front. Gavin in his own little world in P2. 6 seconds ahead of Brian Moore, but this is the real story. 3rd and 4th, 8 seconds behind Blake Chapman. As we click over, you see Blake a half a track behind 3rd and 4th. I think the salesman may have found a new racetrack here to call home on the iRacing server, because this is the battle on the track. 3 laps to go. Dino's got 6 more chances to make it there to get it done here. He's got Joseph Grandy peeking up and sneaking up into that picture. 2 laps to go for Dino, but 1 to go for Blake as the salesman, man, oh man, dominated this thing here tonight. Barely got any camera time from Shaggy because he was too fast. The salesman takes home the Flatline Racing Bodies 360 Sprint first feature win of the year here at Huset's. Gavin Chatham P2, Brian Moore second, Dean Reynolds Brian Moore third. I said Gavin Chatham second, Brian Moore third, Dean Reynolds fourth, and Joseph Grandy rounding out the top five. Is the top five. Your last five on the lead lap is Blake Chapman. Man, he did not come to play here tonight. He was ready to go. This 20 car was all business, and it's been a long time since we've, if we're being honest here, have seen somebody come in and really own it like that and run real hard. Dominate. I mean, that's pretty crazy. In a fixed setup race, I mean, you see it other places from time to time, but not too often in the Coast to Coast League. A lot of good drivers in here, but sometimes it's just your night, and it happened to be that way there for the kid in the 20 machine as we wait for the top three to roll on up here, and we'll pull Mr. Wednesday night up here. Brian, what did you tell me the other night? What did you tell me the other night? Do you remember?
I said I wouldn't count on making the podium.
And what did I tell you? What did I respond with? I said, I know better than that. I've seen you run out here enough. And, man, you held off some of the best that we've got in the sprint cars. You did a hell of a job here. How'd the car feel, man?
Felt really good. There for a while, if you run the top real high in 1 and 2, about midway through the corner, there's kind of a loop-de-loop, man. You hit them bumps, and it upset the car enough that, man, you couldn't get that good run down that back straightaway. So you had to kind of enter and go through the middle of the corner, a little off the top. And but once I figured that out, I rode up there pretty good most of that race.
Yeah, that bump that you were talking about, that's actually, I didn't realize it was that severe, but I can put 2 and 2 together now. That's actually what caused our first caution there, because right as you were talking about it, we're watching your car drive over it, and you could see you do lose the rear end a little bit. I didn't realize how nasty that thing is. Do you really feel it inside the car?
Oh, yeah. It kind of, you can feel the car get upset. And then, like I said, unless you lift right when you hit them bumps, you'll spin the tires coming off them bumps. And, I did that a few times. It really cost me, I think. I think that's what cost me that heat race. But, yeah, that's fun. I don't know where first and second were. Man, they were gone. They checked out. But I was surprised I held on to third, because I thought, man, surely if them guys are gone, everybody else has got to be right there by me. So, but yeah, that was fun, man.
Yeah,
glad to make it up here.
Well, when you're coming up on lap traffic, we had plenty of that tonight. Was the dust ever a problem for you, or just no issue at all? They did a good job staying out of the way.
No, they did a good job staying low, and the dust wasn't bad tonight. I mean, I saw more mud coming off guys' rear tires than I did dust. So that was kind of cool. I never really had noticed that before either.
Yeah, it is neat the way. And I mean, I've messed around in practice here before. If you just keep a stationary camera and I watch you guys go around about 6 or 7 laps, you can kind of see the cushion transition a little bit. It's pretty neat the way they're doing this thing. I dig it. Obviously, the dust needs a little bit of work, but seems like you guys are able to drive it well, and man, you look fast out there tonight in that 055. Looking forward to seeing what you can do in that 410. But before I kick you out of here, Mr. Wednesday night, you got a couple people to thank, I think.
Yeah, I want to thank you for putting this show on and the broadcast, and Coast to Coast Racing and Roger and all them guys at Coast to Coast and Flatline Racing Bodies, and the guys in Discord with me, Devo and Jack and Greg and them guys. We're just having fun, man. This is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. And give a shout out to Rona and Rick and My son Junior, he's busy working, so he probably will miss quite a few of these races this season. But and then, hey, thanks for recognizing my new number. I got a number change this season, so I'm looking to get a new wrap to wrap my car with that number on it. So uh, anybody can help me out there, it'd be appreciated.
Yeah, man, I'd check out that Velocity Race Designs. They do a lot of good stuff over there. But congratulations, Brian. Good run, man, and hopefully I'm talking to you after the 410, brother.
All right, thank you, man.
Well, Gavin, I mean, not much else you can say. And, you know, you were kind of in your own zone in P2, but you're 7 seconds ahead of P3, man. When is the last time, you know, you've had that big of a margin and you're still chasing the kid down 2.5 seconds up the road?
I can't say. I honestly don't know. I didn't even realize it was that big of a gap. I was just so focused on hitting my marks and being smooth and being fast, and obviously it worked out for us pretty well, finishing second. And that's a huge gap. I mean, but yeah, I never. It's been a while since we've seen something like that. I figured the pressure was there, so I just kept trying to run my line and be fast and be smooth. Blake was a little quicker tonight. Yeah, he was quick. I feel like we definitely were clicking off some fast lap times too. I think we were probably pretty even. I was trying some different stuff out and wasn't as consistent tonight, and the lap cars kind of didn't do me any favors as well. But kind of got hung up around them. And I messed up my entry in 3 and 4. I about sent the thing over the fence, hooked the right rear on it. But dang, what a fun racetrack that is. That's pretty racy out there. Houston's definitely was fun and racy, and the heat races were awesome tonight, and the feature was pretty competitive as well.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm a big fan of this place. And, you know, back to what you originally said, we brought up your lap times in there, you know, when you were behind Blake before, exactly like you said, you started to test around. And, well, now we're seeing you touch that wall a little bit in 3 and 4. But, yeah, I mean, you were rotating laps back and forth with Blake. But when you find yourself in second, I mean, how difficult is it, you know, when the leader's kind of running where it's fast and you got to go search for something else that you don't even know if it's there?
Yeah, we lost a lot of time when I jumped to the top there and 1 and 2 just to try to rip it and see what it is, and it just wasn't there, and definitely killed off a lot of our speed, and lost some time there. And honestly, I should have just stuck what I was doing. I should have kept running my line, and I started switching up, and even in the bottom in 3 and 4, I only ran it maybe 2 or 3 laps on the bottom. And I should have just never went down there. It was fast down there, it had a lot of grip, but that's just not where I was making speed. So I should have stuck with the top and lost more time there. And taking nothing away from Blake, he's fast and he's smooth, and definitely congrats to him on the win. But I just wish I would have probably just stuck with what I was doing. Maybe we could have hung with him.
Yeah, no, it's kind of, you know, easy for me to kind of think this up here, but I think, you know, you put the shoe on the other foot and you're out front. Blake's running P2. I think he's going to fall under some of the similar circumstances you did of having to try to search around. And, man, this racetrack, as wide as it is, as racy as it is, you and Blake are going to put on some damn good shows here this season, and I'm really looking forward to it, Gavin. Great run tonight, man. Who you want to thank?
I just want to thank you, Shaggy, for doing an awesome job with the broadcast. I want to thank Flatline Racing Bodies coming out and sponsoring the Hometown Heroes on Wednesday nights. I just want to thank all the sponsors involved with Coast to Coast Racing, all the admin, everyone who puts these leagues on, all the behind-the-scenes guys. Everybody helps put this league on, allows us to come out here and race. I just want to thank Chatham Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity to Race Design, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports, FTM, Full Throttle Motorsports, Super Dark Car Series, and Swan Speed Shop. You know, when you get the sponsors down and you get a couple new ones, it definitely throws a wrench in when you got it memorized. I just want to thank all the sponsors and all the help we get. Just want to thank the fans for coming out and watching and supporting the races, and I just want to thank my fans as well for coming out and supporting me and watching the races as well.
Well, hey, great run, man. You're gonna pull out the 410, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Hopefully we'll go one spot better next time.
All right, sounds good, brother. I'm rooting for you. Good luck.
All right, thanks, guys.
That's the 99 of Gavin Chatham, your P2 finisher. And now we bring up the man who, Blake. Now, okay, only 2.7 over Gavin. We've seen that before. But when's the last time you looked at that scoreboard and you saw a 9.5-second gap back to P3? I almost got to watch your whole checkered flag lap and then everyone else's white flag lap. Kid, you were dominating tonight, man. That thing was a rocket ship.
Yeah, it helps when you don't get very many cautions and that bottom is rolling. And we found it early. We knew it was going to be the place to be early. I was hoping it wasn't going to go away on me. And it didn't. It was really there all night. It was a little weird in 1 and 2. You had to be careful getting the car into the corner, but then there was grip all the way throughout the corner, so I was able to hammer it. And then, 3 and 4, the most grip was in the entry to the corner, so we were able to send it in there pretty good. And then we had to pedal it throughout the corner because it was pretty slick. But the exits of the corner were good, so we were able to, really get off the corner well. And we built up a really big lead there, and just love to see that. We didn't have to push it too hard to get the win here tonight.
No, and honestly, that's kind of what I was gonna say. And that isn't a shot at everyone, but when you get out front like you were, I mean, at some point, you got to start running 90%. And I know you don't want a caution, but let's say we get a caution there late. I mean, you had to be pretty confident, right? You nursing that thing on the bottom. You had to have a lot of grip in that right rear.
Yeah, I figured we'd be okay. We definitely didn't want to see a caution. I know how quick Gavin can be, but as long as we hit our marks on the bottom, I was confident we were probably going to be able to hold on and win this thing. But thankfully we didn't see a caution because we were able to get out front there. And shout out to everybody for running a clean race on a really, really slick track. Like I said, I get out there and we don't have to push it as hard, which definitely helps because if I'm going 100% and I make a mistake, I know Gavin's going to be right there on me. So definitely really like these races, but I'm sure the 410s will be a little bit different.
Well, man, it's been a good night to you so far here. 2 podiums. You're going to pull out the 410, right? You're going to get the dust off it?
Of course.
All right. Well, we'll be rooting for you, Blake. Good luck. But you know the drill, man. Before you get out of here, I think you got some sponsors you need to thank.
Yeah, of course. Well, first I got to thank the guy running the water truck tonight. Of course, we were here last week and it was really, really dusty. So I don't know, they might have hired a new guy for this week. So he's done a good job. And of course, I got to thank the family for watching and all the guys down at the Crate Sim Racing team and Andy at AJ Custom Creations and Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps. And of course, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They got some of the best stuff out there. And it makes a great Christmas gift. You can head over to their online shop and use code CART, that's CART, at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. I got to thank Flatline Racing Bodies for sponsoring Hometown Heroes and you for doing the broadcast, Shaggy.
Well, hey, great run, man. And, actually, before I kick you out of here, just because Roger and those guys, they watch this, you touched on something really good here. I think this is the money time. The dust wasn't too bad. And you still got to see some of it because it wasn't pitch dark. I think this is the time that we want to run our rooms. But, hey, great run here, Blake, and I look forward to a lot more of these here throughout the year.
Yeah, thank you.
And now, Blake, if you don't mind, Shaggy is having trouble. One of my monitors actually shut off on me, so I'll be able to fish it over. But fish yourself out of Discord if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
Here. And, well, everybody, I'm kind of wondering what turned this monitor off. And I'm trying to turn it back on. But I'm being as transparent with you as I can. It is not coming back on, which won't be a problem for me here in the upcoming broadcast, as you're going to see the iRacing come on. Shaggy has to find Streamlabs here. And I've got to pull this over on the screen. As there we go. Okay. My apologies there. That was scary. As you see, I think I yanked some things off the screen. So we'll have to move some things. Or no, actually I didn't. That's just on my screen. I'm the only one who can see that. I'll be quiet here. But okay, with that here, like I say, sorry about the pause screen. A little Slacky running this in, but that was really weird. Shaggy had a monitor die out on him. And we're going to have to run this show with 2 monitors here for the final race. We'll roll this in between credit video. Stick around, and we'll be back with part 3 here of Flatline Racing Body's Hometown Heroes.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback. and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Bear with Shaggy here for a couple minutes because, well, I was already on Amazon. I got another one ordered, but I was worried that monitor was going to go out. It was blinking on me and not acting very nice. And, well, it decided to quit on me. That monitor is done, but these guys, they are still going to advance here quick. Let's see here. Did I actually... Wait, it says that's on. Oh, okay. I drug this to the side here. Let's fit this to screen. It was up here the whole time. That was... Apparently, Shaggy was dragging at the middle of the screen here when it was on that other monitor. Because the computer is reading it as on, but it's just the picture that went out of it. So it thinks it's still there. But no more picture. Time to retire that monitor. And time for the Bassman to see what he can do in the 410s here at Hewsett Speedway. Who's going to qualify on the pole for the Flatline Racing Body 410s? The Bassman looking good here through 3 and 4. And then as soon as I say that, he gets a little loose. Still purple through Sector 2. Roger Craig currently on the pole, but for how long? Time start to roll in. The Librarian P3. Andy Patton steals it for now. He takes quick time in the 87. See Dino P5. Steve Bixler coming around lap number 2 as he throws it into 3 and 4. Where's the mayor? Quicker through 1, quicker through 2. Blake Chapman, though, purple. And the salesman, he's going to qualify quick time in the 20 as the Dark Knight Gavin Chatham. Can he improve? Quicker through Sector 1. What can he do through 2? He's a little slower. The Dark Knight going to stay P4 as that's going to put a bow on qualifying here. And we'll get ready to go play in the clay at Hewsett Speedway. But once again here, bear with me. It may be, I know sometimes, well, I even stutter to begin with. It's just Shaggy's own stupidity, but there may be a little more stuttering involved here tonight. Like I say, working with only 2 monitors, and I mean, it's to the point where, you know, I absolutely need this monitor. I'm going to go purchase one tomorrow at my local Walmart. I don't know how broadcasters, well, most of them I think have 4, and that's definitely the way to go. 4. 5 is a little overkill, I think, but man, having 2, that is not the trick. I mean, it's enough, but not what you want to have. And well, what we want to have here, apparently, 1 heat race here for the 410s as well tonight. So let's see here. Starting on the outside of row number 5 in the 4, Greg Parmalee into his inside in the 78, Jack Clevenger. Dean Reynolds lines up on the outside of row number 4 in the 79 into his inside in the 75, the mayor, Steve Bixler. Pat Boyce, the librarian, lines up on the outside of row number 3 and is inside in the 747. The Bassman, Roger Craig. Blake Chapman takes that number 20 and lines up on the outside of row number 2 and is inside in the 055. Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Outside of row number 1, the 87, the General Andy Patton, and is inside the Dark Knight in the 99, Gavin Chatham, as we have a Pennsylvania front row. And you know Shaggy loves to see that. I'm a PA boy, so love to see my PA drivers representing here. And well, now that I know everything's all good in the hood for you guys, Shaggy is going to try to do something here. Maybe make this a little easier on myself. But maybe not. Because it doesn't look like it's going to get any... Oh, maybe. There we go. I'll bring it up, watch it on my iRacing screen. And as the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off, the boys get ready to go play for 6 laps at the Huset's Speedway. Small racetrack, don't blink. This thing could be over. As Gavin Chatham drops the hammer and we're ready to play at Huset's Speedway. Blake Chapman trying to get a run right away on the outside. We saw him go 4th to 1st in his 360 heat race. Can he do it once again? 4th to 2nd in 1 lap as he peeks to the outside of the General. Andy Patton trying to fight back, but Blake Chapman upstairs where all that moisture is right now, trying to carry off momentum. Oh, Andy almost shut the door, but there wasn't room. He had to get in the brakes. Didn't want to pinch the salesman in the outside wall as the Pat Boyce and Roger Craig involved. Pat Boyce able to tow. He didn't want to try to turn that thing around with oncoming traffic coming. Only halfway to go. Gavin Chatham trying to set sail out front. The Dark Knight trying to wheel this thing around, trying to be smooth here. But right now, 1 more lap to go, barring a big hiccup here. Almost the 2nd lead Gavin Chatham's developed. You gotta think this is his, and he sees that checkered flag waving, and he's gonna bring it home with him. He's gonna start on the front row for tonight's feature here at the Huset Speedway. Blake Chapman P2, Andy Patton 3rd, and Dean Reynolds 4th. Brian Moore Sr. rounds out the top 5 as we bring back up our... Oh, somehow I had the settings open. There we go. And well, we're going to get ready to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stick around and we'll be right back. And we are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV, and we're ready to bring you part 3 of Flatline Racing Body's Hometown Heroes. The big boys ready to play here. We got the 410 sprint cars out. Man, oh man, we're going to hear the motors roar. Shaggy may have to play around with this desktop volume again. I will try to bring up the chat on my phone here. As like I say, now I'm down an even extra monitor. And, oh, Brandon. Oh, nice to see ya. Sorry. Like I say, Shaggy was going through it there for a bit. I'm down a monitor. Gonna get another one tomorrow. But I didn't see your chat there. Appreciate you for tuning in and joining the league. Can't wait to call you here, man, as you get into racing here with us. There we go. All's right in the world. Brought up the broadcast on my phone, and I thought the stream was off because I clicked the wrong link. But that's what you do here. When you're me, you make yourself look like a dummy sometimes. And let's take a look here at the starting grid for tonight's Flatline Racing Bodies 410 feature at the Huset's Speedway, starting in row number 5. On the outside in the 41, the librarian, Pat Boyce, and to his inside, the Bass Man in the 747, Roger Craig. Greg Parmley lines up on the outside of row number 4 in that number 4, and to his inside, the Mayor in the 75, Steve Bixler. Jack Clevenger takes that 78 machine and lines up on the outside of row number 3, and to his inside in that 055 machine, Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Dean Reynolds lines up on the outside of row number 2 and is inside in the 87, the General Andy Patton. Row number 1 for tonight's 410 main event at the Huset's Speedway, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Starting on the outside in that 20 machine, the salesman Blake Chapman, and to his inside in the 99, the Dark Knight Gavin Chatham, as the boys get ready to play at Huset's Speedway. 25 laps to get it done around the short racetrack. Had a lot of long green flag runs in the first one. Shaggy expects the same here as we see the green flag is high. She's ready to fly. 25 laps to play in the clay at Huset's Speedway. We're underway. Good jump there for the Dark Knight as he's able to pounce. Get that grip on the bottom. Blake Chapman immediately flirts to that outside, and well, Shaggy clicks over screens here so I can see a little bit better, and now he sees that's the 78. Jack Clevenger trying to dig under the 79 here early. He sees that grip in the middle of the racetrack, but right now Dino and the boys in front. Too much power on that top shelf, and well, Blake's trying to tell Gavin all about it here as he gets a run off of 2 all over the 99 down the backstretch. Gavin takes the short way around again through 1 and 2, and right now liking that combo line. Fast on the top in 3 and 4, a little quicker on the bottom in 1 and 2. Blake Chapman not going to go away this easy, though, as he's going to send it in. He sees his opportunity. Slide job for the lead. The Dark Knight peeks back underneath, and he's going to throw one of his own, possibly. He's going to leave Blake a lane. Gavin's got to keep it low now in 3 and 4. Can he find the grip? The salesman pops your popcorn, and he takes the lead with 19 to go. Sends it off into 3 and 4. Did the Dark Knight lose his chance here? Is it over? Can he try to fight back here as he's seeing the tire tracks of the 20 ride off into the night here at Huset's Speedway? Dino starting to reel in his FTM teammate in that 99. Can he get up here and mix it up with Gavin Chatham? We ride off the front end here at Dino. See, it is so bumpy there in 1 and 2. Going to stay on this for one more lap. Just you can see pretty smooth here. Now as he enters again, watch this bump. Da-doom. Right there. I mean, it turns the race car. That's a pretty vicious bump, and driver's going to be feeling it here after this one. Those direct drive wheels, they get tiring, and they put up a fight sometimes. Not so easy to wheel those things around as Shaggy shuts his mouth here. Let's go trackside for a lap or two. Dean Reynolds still trying to get that 79 rolling, but Gavin Chatham kind of reeling away from him a little bit. Dino was close, was thinking about getting by his FTM teammate for that middle step of the podium, but he's got a sight set on winning this thing, trying to reel in Blake Chapman as Roger Craig goes a lap down. Gavin Chatham trying to go to the outside to work around here. Roger does a good job of staying to the inside through 1 and 2, but that may have been where Gavin wanted to go. But it doesn't matter where Gavin wants to go. He's got to put that thing where the cars ain't. And as we look at these last few laps here, Gavin Chatham has been the quicker car on the racetrack. He said he didn't want to finish P2 twice. Can he find a way around the kid here as he's pulling in the rings? We got a battle on our hands. It's 6 laps to go this time by. Blake Chapman steps back up to that top shelf, and we see the gap stabilize a little bit in 1 and 2, but Gavin running that middle line in 3 and 4, making up a lot of time through the center of the corner, but Blake gets it all back and then some with the momentum he carries through 1 and 2. Gavin's got to go where Blake isn't, but right now, fighting that losing battle, I think, running the middle in 3 and 4. 3 laps to go as we come out of turn 4 this time, and Blake Chapman and Gavin Chatham in their own universe up front as Andy Patton tries to go around the Bass man Roger Craig, and he's getting close to this 3rd and final podium spot, but he's running out of time. Only 2 more trips around the sun. Can the general find a way to get up to Dino as Blake Chapman takes that white flag? 1 more trip around here at Huset's Speedway. The kid's gonna sweep the wings here at Huset's. 2 for 2, 3 podiums on the night. Blake Chapman takes home the checkered flag. Gavin Chatham with a close P2, but man, he's gonna wish he was sitting on that top step here tonight. Back-to-back P2s. That's something to hang your hat on, though, for the Dark Knight. And Dino rounding out the podium. We're going to get a happy Dino here, I'd imagine, up in the broadcast booth. But great race here at the Huset Speedway. Not one caution flag in the 410s. These guys did an amazing job here of keeping it clean and giving us a good race once again. As we'll try to move some screens here. This is where it gets really difficult not having that other screen, because now we pull this over here and then we'll have to close this. So let's see here. We do got Dino up here in the booth. So let's go ahead and pull the man up. I always pull him up as he's congratulating the winner. It's something I'm known for with Dino. Hey, man, top 3 here, and you look pretty good out there. You were quick.
I felt good. It's the first time I ran a 410 here. I didn't get a chance to run any of the other races, and it felt good. I was comfortable up top, and then I was going to stay there, and then all of a sudden Gavin said, the middle of 3 and 4, or one of the turns said it's really starting to feel good, and then all of a sudden I looked at my relative and I saw Andy was like right behind me, And then I did peek in my mirror, and I go, that sucker's running the middle and down the bottom. So I went down there, and it felt pretty good, but still not my cup of tea. And I stayed down there until I got up to Roger, and then I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get around Roger if I stay here. So I went right back up to the top to get around him, and then I was starting to pull out on Andy a little bit, so I stayed up there into the last lap. So it felt good. I tell you, Shaggy Husitz is a pleasant surprise. I think it races very well in a sprint car. I haven't run a modified yet here, but races very well with a sprint car.
Yeah, you know, for someone who's only seen this place on TV, and I talked about it a little bit with, I think it was Jack Hitt there after the midget race. I mean, how surprised were you the first time you got here when you saw how wide these turns are here, Dino? It really promotes for good racing.
Well, when you look at it on TV, you know, when the Outlaws come here and you look at it in Dirt Vision, plug, it looks narrow, actually. It looks narrow, and actually, you know, with the berm, it kind of gives it a little narrow feeling, but you're right. There's a lot of room. You can run 3 wide here, and it just races really well. And guys can run the bottom, guys can roll the middle and run the top. Now, like I said, I don't know how the modifieds race here yet. I'm interested to see how that is. But when I first came here, I practiced on a modified, and every time I came out of turn 4, I hit the front stretch wall because I was so tight coming off. I'm like, oh, God, this ain't going to be good. But I ran those Coast to Coast. I ran the 360 race. You know, and Coast to Coast had their week 13 there last season, and I finished second to Goldner, and I felt really comfortable. I said, well, this is going to be a lot of fun. And so it was good. I detuned the motor quite a bit because I know me. I know how hard I am on the throttle, and that seemed to work. And Gavin did as well a little bit. And you know, I was watching Blake and Gavin in front of me, and then they started pulling out a little bit at the end. That top got a little thin. I got a little conservative, but I tell you, a lot of fun, Shaggy. This is I think. I think Hometown Heroes should just stay here, and I think I know the field wasn't that big, but I think a lot of guys should come and run here. They might be afraid of high speeds in a tight track, but it doesn't race like that. It races with a lot of room.
No, yeah, it really does, and I mean, we saw that in the test races. I think not too many cautions, and you know, not a big field here, but you guys proven that, man. 30 laps green or 25 laps green flag. I mean, that's a hell of a show. Congratulations here, Dean. Good P3, brother. Who you want to thank?
I got to thank the guys from Full Throttle Motorsports, and I tell you, it's a great sign to have Gavin as part of our team now, and he's going to get us going in our sprint car stuff. And you know, I was in the Discord with him, and he was telling me different things. I mean, he's just a better flat-out driver and stuff, but he's really trying to help me out get good, especially on these fixed setups. He's a whiz on these fixed setups, and I'm learning, and I'm getting some speed from him. And so, you know, got to thank the guys from FTM. Got to thank you for doing the telecast. And, you know, Shaggy, it's always nice to talk to you. You know, my goal is to be talking to Shaggy. I know I get a lot of podiums. I want some more wins, but I do like to talk to Shaggy. And we also got to say thanks to Flatline Racing Bodies for sponsoring, so Hometown Heroes can come to everyone's living rooms again. And I forgot to thank him last night, but, you know, I'm running these throwback wraps. It's just no special reason. It was just I felt like to do it. I got to thank Ross Corretta for Velocity Race Designs. He did the Howden Shield throwback that I got. That's a 1998 Howden Shield throwback. This is a 1997 Jeff Swindell throwback, and I think you can go along with me and say he nailed it. He nailed these cars.
Well, I can tell you for a fact, you go back and listen to this broadcast, Brian Moore Sr. mentioned in his last interview he wants a new paint, and Velocity Race Designs, truly. I've never, you know, I've gotten the free wraps from them. I personally do my own, but I respect good work, and they're way better than anything I could do. I just like running my own, and every time somebody asks for a paint job, man, I promote him. He does amazing work. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah, he's got, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he has some time now. He's a farmer, and the summers are busy time, and you know, he said, don't bother me in the summer because I won't be able to get any wraps done. And then I messaged him, I think in November, and I said, yeah, well, are you done farming? He goes, I'm done farming. Time's still a little tight, but what do you got? And I said, okay, here's my ideas. And lots of times he'll send you a proof at 12 o'clock at night. So, I mean, so you know when he's doing them, when he can find some time. But that's really cool. He's very affordable. good sponsor of Coast to Coast. He always likes to sponsor Coast to Coast. So if anyone's looking for a top quality wrap, and there's a lot of good people that do great wraps. As you know, I got 800 of them, and I try to support as many people as I can. But I tell you, if you want to support somebody within Coast to Coast, definitely support Ross.
Yeah, most definitely. And speaking of supporting Ross here, we got to do that this weekend. You gonna be around for the Dagan Corinna Memorial Race?
I'm gonna run parts of it. I got some leagues on Sunday that I'm in, but I still think I'll get in and run a couple races, and then I might have to leave and such. And then Monday, the only problem is Monday, one of my modified leagues that I help support and such is still running even with the Christmas break. So I'm going to donate no matter what, anyways. And I'll get the midget out there, and we'll do some around the Chili Bowl. I've run a midget at the Chili Bowl and had some fun. And matter of fact, I ran a UMP modified there last week when they were doing a Gateway Nationals. I wound up running a UMP there, and I missed qualifying by 1, but it was actually a lot of fun. So, but everybody in Coast to Coast, come on in and have some fun. But if you can't race, just donate. I mean, that was great that they got over $2,000 for John Hines' daughter. I thought that was awesome, and let's do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think I broadcast the league on Sunday night, so I'm hoping they do a deal where I can buy myself into the show on Monday. I'd really like to run that thing. So I'm going to be pulling for that angle. But hey, great run, Dino. Love talking to you, man, and hopefully I talk to you again here in the near future, brother.
All right, man. Thanks, and I got to say congrats to Blake and Gavin. They they were the class of the fields tonight, man. They got something for me to shoot for, and if I can finish ahead of them just one race, that's going to be something I can put on my mantle.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's going to be a long year behind those two, but we wish you the best of luck here. Good luck, Nino.
Thanks, Shaggy. Take care.
And now we pull up our Shaggy's got to make Discord a little bigger here. I had to minimize everything being on the 2 windows. Now we bring up our P2 finisher here, Gavin Chatham. Well, it's not deja vu exactly, man. You were a lot quicker than him those last 10 laps of the race, but it just seemed like you started to run out of time.
Yeah, we ran out of time, and Blake's a smart race car driver. He can see the lines. When he switched the line in the middle, I knew it was over. Because there's just no way you're going to get around him. Maybe could have tried the bottom and seen if it would have stuck, but yeah, all in all, it was a good race for us. I mean, 2 P2s start the season off. Definitely a solid. Actually, it's a great way to start the season off. But yeah, we at this time I started searching around, and it worked out for me this time, and we were able to run them down pretty quick. And but yeah, we just didn't have enough time. And like I said, Blake's a smart kid. He knows what he's doing, and he's seen the middle was coming in, and once he started hitting it, it was kind of like we were just nose to tail there. So sometimes it's just the way it works, and we'll definitely take the P2 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we saw you kind of commit to that bottom early on, and we saw Blake move to that top shelf to get around you. You think if maybe you move up there, throw him that block once or twice, maybe we're talking to you here at the end, or was he just a little quicker there in that early stage of the race?
No, I was pretty committed to that line I was running. I thought that was it. I thought that was the line, and I thought that the top of 1 and 2 was going to push up too much, and actually it didn't. It was actually the fast line around. So yeah, I was just between where I ran in the heat race and in the warm up session there. That's where I was fast, and I thought I was going to be. It was kind of looked like it was shaping up kind of the same way the 360 race. So I said, okay, I'm going to commit to what I was doing, which I was fast. But then Blake was just a little faster on the top there, and you never want to give up a spot and just kind of sit there. But at the same token, once you get to racing, and it kind of brings everybody back to you, and then it becomes, 2-car race becomes a 5-car race, and it's just sometimes easier to sit down, settle down, and get away from everybody, and then go race for the win.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, man, it sounds like I'm on repeat, but you know the deal. We're points racing, dude, and it's not where you want it to be necessarily, but mistakes happen, and if you keep racking up these P2s, stealing wins every now and then, it's looking good for you for the trophy. Long way to go here, but look forward to rooting on that 99 the rest of the way. Good run here, Gavin. Who you want to thank, brother?
I just want to thank you again, Shaggy. You do an awesome job with the broadcast. I just want to thank Flatline Racing Bodies. Thank you for sponsoring this sprint cars out here on Hometown Heroes, and all the sponsors of Coast to Coast Racing, all the admin, everybody who's behind the scenes that helps put this league on, allows us to come out here and race. Just want to thank Chatham Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Northeast Outlet Motorsports, FTM, Swan Speed Shop, and Super Dirt Car Series. Want to thank all the sponsors that help out FTM and keep us rolling. I just want to thank the fans for coming out and watch these races. I know I say it all the time, but I really do hope we put on a good show for everybody and put some good races on for y'all. And I just want to thank my fans as well for coming out and supporting me.
Yeah, man, you did exactly that. You started to flirt with him there at the end, turned it into an interesting finish. Good run, Gavin, and 2 P2s, man, back to back. That's something to hang your hat on. Great run, and I look forward to reading you on the rest of the season.
All right, thanks, Shaggy. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
That's Gavin Chatham, your P2 finisher. And now we bring up the man who drove so fast in the 360s that he broke my monitor. Blake, I blame you for that. I don't know why you had to do that, but you
Hey,
go
I'm not
out
buying
here.
you a new one. That's what you're trying to say.
No, it's already been purchased. I go pick it up at Walmart tomorrow. Shaggy freaked out under that intermission, and I pre-ordered it to make sure that they would have it at the store tomorrow for tomorrow night's broadcast. But Blake, man, you're able to take advantage of that high line early on and get by Gavin. Were you a little surprised that he stayed committed to the bottom, even, the way you were carrying that speed on the outside?
Yeah, I was there, at the beginning. I was right on him, coming at a 2 when he would run that bottom. And I figured he might move up, but I can see why he didn't, just because the bottom was so fast in that 360 race. And he might not want to get off of it. So, yeah, it was just a completely different story here in the 410s. That top was really, really quick. And I was struggling there a little bit towards the end. Felt like I might have been losing the tires a little bit, but we were able to find a good patch of tacky stuff right in the middle of the track, which is kind of surprising that it helped us hold on for the win here at the end.
No, I should have asked Gavin, and I freaking forgot because I'm such a novice in these 410s that really, Blake, I don't even think about it. Now, you're so good with the throttle control. Do we even mess around with the engine power here, or do you just let it sing and, you baby it yourself?
Yeah, I definitely do. I didn't adjust it at all for qualifying or the heat race, but I knew for this feature it was going to get slick. So I took it down quite a ways, about halfway down. And I think I even could have taken a little bit more out of it, to be honest. So I know that's going to be something definitely to monitor as we go on here at Husitz and try and perfect it going forward.
Yeah, especially because, it's going to be like cats to a can of tuna here outside. They saw you guys go 25 green flag laps tonight. More people going to show up next week, and that means the track's going to be that much more destroyed. But, Blake, back-to-back here in the wings. You got to be feeling good about the start of the season here. I don't know what else more you could have done. 2 poles, 2 wins. Maybe you could have won the heat race, but you had to make it a little interesting. Congratulations, kid. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, first I got to thank everyone that puts on this league and does a lot. Everybody from the review committee to the executive committee, everybody that puts the show on every week. Got to thank those guys, and of course I got to thank the family for watching and all the guys on the Krite Sim Racing team. Got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps, Nandy at AJ Custom Creations, and of course I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They got some great popcorn and some holiday flavors. You can head over to their website and use code CART, that's C-A-R-T, at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. I got to thank Flatline Racing Bodies for the sponsor tonight, and of course you for putting the broadcast on, Shaggy.
Well, hey, heck of a run, Blake, and I'll just send you that receipt, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man, good run. I look forward to a lot more of these, kid. Good job.
Thanks, Shaggy.
Blake Chapman steals the show here, the wing part of the show. Wins the 360s by 2.5 seconds. And, Gavin tried to run him down at the end, but he had just gotten too big of a gap in that 20 machine. And Blake Chapman brings home the checkered flag 2 times in one evening. And, man, if this is any indication, Blake is only going to get faster as he gets more time on this track. I expect the same from the 99 of Gavin Chatham. But unless we get some dark horses, maybe some Stephen Goldner racing cars, maybe some more Full Throttle Motorsports drivers, man, oh man, they may steal this show here at Huset's this season. But if you're still here, thank you for tuning in this long. Thanks for sticking around with me here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. On behalf of all the admins, all the drivers, we thank you for tuning in every night of the week. Tune in tomorrow night. I'll be back on the call for Thursday Night Thunder as we get the small box and big blocks out to play a little bit. But once again, I'm Zach Chapman from Shaggy TV. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.